It's Monday on Melrose Mountain at higher ground, and it's mostly cloudy, but at least the rain has stopped. The sun breaks through periodically. 72 degrees. Very, very pleasant day. A very nice day. Birds are at the bird feeder again today and just stocking up. This morning on the Today Show, they were having a special celebration for Savannah Guthrie that's expecting a child. I'm not sure what her married name is, but they were laughing and joking about the fact that she had not determined the sex of the child, which is obviously a mother's choice when the sonogram is done, and talking about whether it was a boy or a girl, and also talking about what they might name their child. And as they were talking about that, she refused to even tell them the names that were under consideration. But I'll bet you I know at least one name that they probably were not considering. The name is Judas. It's really funny because during Jesus' day, the name Judas was a popular name. For you see, there had been a hero named Judas. And so many parents had named their child after the hero. And so Judas was a popular name. That's why when we look at Scripture, very often, to be sure we know which Judas they're talking about, it says Judas Iscariot. Since that time, Judas is not a very popular name. Matter of fact, I can only think of one person that even comes close to the name Judas, and that would be Jude Law, and I'm not even sure who that is, other than it's a famous actor or actors. Nevertheless, it's not a popular name. Why is it not a popular name? Well, when we look at the name Judas Iscariot in the Scriptures, in almost every passage, in the same sentence that his name is mentioned, is also the word betrayer. And if you were to go to Webster's dictionary today, you would find that Judas, the first definition, would be one of the 12 that followed Jesus, 12 apostles. And the secondary definition would be one who betrays under the guise of friendship. And one of the worst kinds of traitors, isn't it? Pretends to be your friend, but is a betrayer. And that's exactly the definition of Judas Iscariot. Pretended to be a follower of Jesus, pretended to be a friend of Jesus, and yet he was a betrayer. You'll find the story in Mark 14, verses 10 through 11. You'll find the parallel passages in Matthew 26, verses 14 through 16, and Luke chapter 22, verses 3 through 6. He was one of the 12. How could somebody that was going to be a betrayer of Jesus be one of the 12? Well, it was foretold. He himself told that he would be betrayed by one of them. And we find that he was there at the time that Jesus was getting ready for the Passover. And we know that from one of the previous lessons we've just had that he was irate that the ointment that Mary poured on Jesus was not sold and put into the treasury so that he could pilfer it. Perhaps that was the final straw. Perhaps all of the sacrificing and all of the following and all of the things that he had to do to be one of the followers of Jesus had just become too much for him. He realized that his greedy desires would never be fulfilled. Perhaps he realized that Jesus wasn't going to be the earthly type king with a huge kingdom and lots of wealth like Solomon or one of the others. Nevertheless, it appears that that was the final straw for Judas. And it tells us in the Matthew account that he went to the leaders of the day, the religious leaders of the day, and said, "What will you give me to turn over Jesus to you?" It obviously was no secret that they were out to kill him, and Judas had this opportunity to be the one that would not kill Jesus, but at least turn him over to those that would. They offered him 30 pieces of silver. It's a substantial amount of money. If you look at a shekel, the 30 pieces of silver were likely, at the very least, a full shekel, at the most, a full shekel rather, and at least a half shekel. A fairly substantial amount of money, but when you consider the value of Jesus, It was the value of a slave. If someone were to buy or sell a slave, it would be around that value. So he betrayed Jesus for the value of a slave. You say, that's terrible. How could anybody betray Jesus for the value of a slave? And my question and my thought for you today is, how little do you betray Jesus for? What little bit of pleasure, what little bit of material wealth, what lie, what thought, what lack of service, what is it that you betray Jesus for? Your thought for the day. God bless you. Have a great day.